to the woods this morning and just to be out in nature. And I'm sitting here by this structure that I like to sit at. And when I come to the woods, when I'm planning to come to the woods, I don't do my usual Reiki practices like I do if I'm at home. I just wait till I come to the woods to do them. And so this morning I was sitting here and I was doing them. And I was looking straight ahead of me, and it just happened so fast. And I've had time to process it now, so I'm certain of what I saw. I'm gonna turn this around so you can see. Oh, doesn't look like I can. So I'm gonna stop this and I'm gonna turn it around so you can see what I'm trying to do. So straight in front of me, there's a tree. There's two trees that cross each other, right straight ahead. Anyway, I was sitting here, and all of a sudden, I just saw this Sasquatch, like right in front of there, right in front of the trees, and his head was almost up to where the trees overlap. Like, I'm guessing like 8 to 10 feet tall, if not taller. And he was walking, like I only saw his side, the side of him. And he wasn't looking at me, but I got the feeling like he was just wanted to give me a glimpse without scaring me, which it did scare me at first. But he was massive, like huge, similar to so many of the pictures I've seen online. But I blinked and he was gone, and it was just it just happened so fast, and it scared me at first, and then I had time to process it and think about it, and just ponder on it. And from the experiences I've been having when I'm out here, and even experiences I've had in the past, like I think my earliest experience was maybe like almost 3-4 years ago. It was before I knew anything about the Sasquatch, but I was out in the woods, and my living situation was awful, so I would often just go to the woods to get away. And I was picking wild rose petals just to because I wanted to dry them. And I was busy doing that, and all of a sudden this very loud stick broke. Like, it was more like a tree branch or something, but it was like very, like, there were no other humans around. I didn't hear anything, any noise, any of anybody or anything around, and all of a sudden this stick just broke, and it's it freaked me out so bad. But I was determined to stay. I did not want to go back to the house yet. And it wasn't till a few months ago that I remembered it, as well as last year, I think. I had brought a friend here, and we were walking the trail right out here on the trail, and we were we were talking about gnomes and elves and fairies when this random stick broke in the woods, and there was like nobody. You couldn't see anybody or anything, but a stick broke. It scared us. But then I read the Sasquatch books, the Sasquatch Message to humanity, and I it just like has changed my life, like just opened my worldview, I'd say, to so much more. And so after I'd read those books, I came out here, and I was going to just, be open to whatever I might experience. And I was sitting at the lake, just watching the water, and thinking about coming over to this part of the trail. And then I remembered the stick breaks and stuff that I'd heard before, and I was like, almost like there was this theme, and it was all coming up to this, like leading up to this. And now, and it has made me wonder if I might have a Sasquatch spirit guide or something like that. I know other people do. So it's really made me curious, but every time I come out here, like, I feel safe. There's times when I feel like I'm like it might have been the same day that I remembered the stick breaks, and I came over here and was walking the trail, and I have started like asking the trees and the woods if I can enter, just out of respect. And I was talking to the trees as I was walking on the trail, little by little, just slowly making my way. And I was talking to the trees and telling them how beautiful they were, when just out of the blue there was this voice in my head that said, "You are just as beautiful as the trees." And it felt like there was somebody walking beside me who was observing me, and they were listening to me, and like knew more about me than than I realized. And it just took me so much by surprise that it really stopped me in my tracks. But yeah, every time I come out here, I have experiences. Either I feel presence, like I feel a very loving presence. One time I didn't feel anything, and then I was like, before I left, I asked telepathically if there's any Sasquatch here, if I could feel their presence. And within a minute, I felt a very strong presence behind me. Like, I felt almost like somebody had their hand on my back. But it's like every time I feel that, it's also so like non-judgmental and loving that it's just overwhelming, makes me cry, but it's just so beautiful. Other times I hear sticks breaking as though somebody's walking through the woods, but I don't see any people when I should be able to see people. Other times I hear rocks clacking, like some people have mentioned in their experiences. And so it's like when I go different places, like to another state park, that's a bit of a distance from my house. There's it's just been more experiences. Like the one time I went to that state park, there was just the week before I found out, or I saw a post online on Facebook saying that somebody had seen a Sasquatch at that state park. And since I had read the Sasquatch books, I was wondering, if there's any there. And so I was so excited when I, saw that post that somebody saw a Sasquatch there. So, and I had plans to go there a week after that. So so when I got there, I telepathically was like, I would like an encounter. but I don't know if I'm ready for it, because I still feel like I have so much to heal that I don't know if I'm ready for it, even though I would like to have an encounter. And it was really interesting. Like, I didn't feel anything for a while, and I I went up the mountain, so that because it was in the evening and I wanted to be away from people. And the there went a couple past me. I hiked a little bit off the trail just to sit on a log because I wanted to do some art. And as I was sitting there, a couple went by me, and he thought I might be an artist. Stick. Um, he thought I might be an artist, and so he thought I was making the drawing like the side of the mountain, but I wasn't. And I was almost done with my picture, and there there was and I heard people, and I was like, ugh, no, no people. I'd been at a powwow, so I was not up to seeing more people. I just wanted to be alone. And as I was, so I kept working on my picture because I was tired, and I was getting tired of coloring, so I was quick trying to finish it, and I heard these people say, I heard somebody say, we have to turn left. And I thought they meant they were coming up the mountain, and that was the last thing I wanted them to do. And so I was just, steeling myself for having to face people. And I I kept on coloring, and the next thing I realized, there was no people. The people never showed up. But what I started feeling instead was this presence. And I was just quit trying to finish coloring, but when I began to when it just hit me that the people never showed up, and I'm starting to feel this presence, I stopped and I just acknowledged the presence, and it was just so loving and so kind that it just made me cry. And it stayed with me till I was done with the picture, and it was starting to get dark, so I wanted to get on the way home. But it was just so beautiful. And then just Sunday I had gone again. I felt it was the last thing I was planning to do that day. Um and I hadn't even really thought what I was going to do, and then I had this idea of going there, and I'm like, well, I didn't really have enough gas and the money for gas. So I was kind of like worried, like if I even should. And so I I was like asking my spirit guides to help me know what I should do, like give me a sign. And I went to do something else. And when I was done with it, like I just started crying out of the blue. Like I wasn't feeling sad or anything. Like I didn't know why. Like why was I all of a sudden crying? And so I like kind of tuned in, you know, what's going on, and I felt like my spirit guides were asking me to go. But what was interesting was that I also felt like the land itself at the park, or some being on the land, was asking me to come, which I've never had that experience before. So it was really interesting. Like, okay, I'll go. Like, I don't know what I'm getting myself into, but it was a very beautiful day, and it was just so peaceful. I of course pick trails where there's no people if I can help it. But towards the end I was tired, and I didn't want to leave yet. So I went out another trail instead of going back to my vehicle. And it was more grown up. And so I it didn't feel as safe, because I like when I can see around me. Like I've been so like, I don't know what the word is, like yeah, it's just I can't think the word, but like it's so ingrained in me. It's been so ingrained in me of how every wild animal is dangerous and everything, and I'm just like, trying to like work on getting through my fear. And so I went down the trail a little bit till I got to a place where there's like there's like pine forest. So it was like mostly pine needles, but there was also brush, and I didn't feel the safest. Like I was like on edge, but I didn't know what else to do. The only other option was going back to the house, to my car. And so I sat down under this one big pine tree. There was like a fallen pine tree underneath it. And I sat on it and I realized that the mosquitoes don't bother me when I'm under that tree. So I was like, okay, I'll stay there. And so I had a piece of art that I wanted to do. So I was working on it. And then it was about halfway done. And there was no wind at this time. And all of a sudden, the tree, like there were two, it was the big pine tree. Like a foot away from it was another pine tree, like a smaller one. And it just like out of the blue, this it starts creaking above me. Like it was almost like somebody was leaning against a small tree, and it was squeaking by its branch, scratching on the other big tree. So that about freaked me out, scared me out of my skin, and but I stayed there. Like I looked up and I didn't see anything. I looked around and I didn't see anything. So so then I just sat there and finished my paper, my art piece, and just as I finished out, I was admiring it and so happy and excited about it because I was drawing a future picture, picture of what I want to happen in the future. And so I was admiring it and like feeling the excitement of this actually happening. And I hear these pitter pattering feet in the leaves on the trail. Like I was sitting a few, maybe 3 yards off the trail, and I look up in time to see this fox trotting in front of me, which again nearly freaked me out because I've been taught all these animals are dangerous and bad and whatever, and I've been trying to like unlearn that. So yeah, it's been a lot of interesting experiences, and I had an energy healing session on Monday, and I've I've been told my third eye is opening, so I feel like the Sasquatch I saw this morning was almost more of a third eye psychic vision thing instead of an actual physical sighting. So it's just really interesting because now I'm excited to see what happens next. Like, what's the next thing I'm going to experience with this journey? Like, there's just been so many things happening. Like, I I would say a lot of it is the Sasquatch. Because I've been intending in my dreams at night to build relationships with them and to meet with them and learn from their wisdom. And so I'm not surprised that I'm having these outside experiences. Like now and then I get glimpses of Sasquatch in my dreams, um, but nothing that I can really remember. So I assume that whatever experiences or things I'm learning or whatever is all on like the higher levels that I don't know yet. And then when the time is right and I'm ready, then it will start happening on the physical level or the third eye level or whatever level that is. But yeah, it's just been a very beautiful experience since I read those Sasquatch Message books and having all these experiences now. it's just so beautiful. And I'll add some pictures from the state park and some of the other, like, sometimes I go walking through the woods here and find to see if I can find structures or glyphs or anything like that. And there's quite a few around here, like even just the one that I'm sitting by, but I don't know. It seems pretty old. And it's not like, it's just one of those random things that a human could barely do. And for what reason? Like, there's so many things that I see that, why would a human just randomly do that? Like, I've seen like a long slender tree balanced up in a tree. Why? Like, I don't know, 12 to 15 feet above the ground. I saw one the other day that was, I don't know, 8 to 10 feet, maybe 6 feet, something like that. But it's like I keep seeing these things, and sometimes I ask them to, show me things if I don't see that. Like, so if they have something they want me to see, that they would show me. So it's a very interesting journey, and I'm really excited to see what's going to happen next.